Hi there. These are just a few reflections about the Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance reading series now that we have come to an end. So this reading series was a journey for me. I went into it with pretty much a rudimentary understanding of Pirsig's work, but with an absolute conviction that he was right. I just knew it. It is something I intuited then, and now that I've gone through the 32 chapters and the afterword, understand it all the more to be right. It's a way of understanding reality that just never fails. It explains everything. And I know that's a grandiose statement, but it's kind of true. It's very true. As we've noticed, my interpretations and commentary have been far from scholarly. Neither are they informed by any kind of formal education in philosophy. If you want the more scholarly opinions or the ones informed more by philosophy, then I suggest the wonderful guidebook to Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. The MOQ.org, whose heyday was in the early 2000s, shortly after the publication of Lila, but whose material is still fortunately up there and present. There's a couple of scholars, Dr. Anthony McWatt and also David Buchanan, both whose theses on Pirsig's work are beautifully written and uncommonly readable for academic texts. There's also the work of fellow Bozeman professor Henry Gurr, and numerous other sources you can explore by linking to filmmaker Dennis Davis's site. He's making a film on Pirsig's journey, by the way, so I strongly encourage you to support that. And also Henry Gurr's site is wonderful, and the MOQ. So you're going to find anything you need to know about Pirsig, probably from those compilations, from the MOQ, from Dennis Davis, and from Professor Henry Gurr's site. So my commentary has often been in conjunction with my personal involvement in this work, and obviously influenced by what I call this corner of the internet. So that is another reason that this series has had a big personal element rather than being a place where people can go to find so-called objective literary criticism. One marvelous thing that's happened from doing this series were the people I met, first in the comments section and then in a few cases through online conversations. These brilliant people often either knew a lot more about Pirsig's work than I did and guided me along, or had their own take on what he had to say in a way that was different or complementary to mine or connected in some other way. So the list is long, but some names that certainly stand out: Lee Glover, Maldeeb, Dennis Davis, Joran, Brad, Mongoose, Evan, many others. Thank you so much for participating in this project, for getting in touch with me, for pointing things out I missed or other ways of seeing, or expanding on my reflections and then generally enlightening me. Of course, through this channel, I've been able to meet John Vervaeke, Paul Vanderklay, and Jonathan Pajot, who are thinkers I've admired long before I had the opportunity to meet them. And of course, through them, I met some other great people, including Christopher Mastropietro, Mary Cohen, and Karen Wong, who I've had wonderful conversations with. Lee Glover, whose singular take on both the topography and the underlying structure of Pirsig's journey, and who has been instrumental in informing this series about the actual stops along the route, sent me this shirt that you see me wear here, and it shows two wolves, perhaps in conflict. One is white and one is black. One is in the light and one is in the shadows. Feelings, logic. Who will win? We know, or feelings, logic, I think, actually. And who will win? Sane and insane. We know the answer. They integrate and become one. And you can see a vague reflection of the monad here, of the yin-yang, with the moon being the little bit of the other that's within them. So one question many people are asking, considering a variety of factors, the barrage of objects of information, the capacity for mutually assured destruction, global civilization versus discrete ones, the chaotic breakdown of all our institutions. What is the solution that we can survive, thrive, and integrate instead of go further down the hole of confusion and fragmentation? That's a good question, and I do believe we have a choice. But to see that we have a choice, we do have to wake up. We have to be enlightened in a certain way. Waking up is what you're watching unfold once you start to get tuned into quality, that quality that you know what it is. All around us, visionaries are following Pirsig's lead of cultivating a new kind of rationality, one that sees logic and subject-object way of seeing things as tools, as the analytical knife, as tools rather than the whole thing. The tool is embedded within quality and serves to manifest quality, to create quality analogs, not the other way around. A new metaphysics, and we will certainly start discussing this in depth in Lila. So using this book, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, I believe is the approach we need to take. It's an approach that believes the Buddha lives just as easily in circuits as in pedals, that integrates the past for a future understanding of reality in which logos is embedded in mythos and not vice versa, that updates rationality to be driven towards what's good over what's logical, that allows for letting quality emerge instead of forcing something preconceived to happen, that peace of mind is a prerequisite for all endeavors, that believes that a quality existence doesn't involve trying to change the world, rather becoming expert mechanics of the motorcycle called ourselves. So I hope that makes sense. I appreciate you joining me on my journey to understand the most important book I've ever read. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time, as I've only just begun.